Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Leo for October 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. Check out my massive amount of free resources on that site. If you would love to have a live reading with me, I'm off sabbatical from taking on new clients, so you can book a live reading now with me at anniehelpsyou.com. So what's going on in the month of October? Our highlight of the month is Venus retrograde. We have October 5th through November 15th is the actual retrograde, but shadow periods for a month before and a month after. So from the beginning of September through the middle of December is covered by this transit. Venus rules love and beauty and design and money and finance and business. So it kind of covers a lot of ground, right? The reason I have gone bonkers with creating resources for you to understand this is because it's going to be a very pervasive transit for a very extended period of time. And I want you to be equipped to handle it, to utilize it in the best way, to know the rules, to know the caveats, and I've outlined them all meticulously for you in multiple resources. So in this video, I'm going to talk about which houses Venus retrograde is going to be retrograde in for Leos. And then you can also look at, on my website, anniehelpsyou.com, look at the Venus retrograde in Scorpio and Venus retrograde in Libra blogs, because we're all experiencing Venus retrograde in Scorpio and Libra. If I have time, I might get to a little bit about that here too, but otherwise you can check it out in that blog series. Also, definitely check out my Venus retrograde. If you search for Annie Botticelli Venus retrograde, I have an amazing video that is so comprehensive, and then an amazing blog that Venus retrograde do's and don'ts. Like, I have really gone all out for you with this. So definitely utilize it, because there are some very important rules along with caveats and things to know about making decisions and navigating with love and money and beauty and design at this time. So Venus is in all of these different areas, right? So we're going to just kind of break it down here. But in general, retrogrades reconsider things. So it brings love back from the past. It brings self-esteem issues or bursts back from the past. It brings work opportunities or blessings from the past. And so those are general, okay? But in specific, the first half of the sign, whether it's by degree, or if you're watching for your rising sign, or the first half of the birthdays, you're going to have this retrograde energy in the 4th house. And then the second half of the sign, you're going to have this energy in the 3rd house. And those of you kind of in the middle, you'll probably have a little bit of both. So like middle degree placements, you'll bridge a little in the 4th and a little in the 3rd. So we're going to talk about what that looks like. You can get a more detailed written explanation of the things I'm going to hit highlights of here on my website. If you look up anniehelpsyou.com and you do, it's your definitive guide to Venus retrograde series. It's a 12 blog series, but this is the Cancer 4th house one. Okay, so your first half. We're going to talk about some general things about Venus retrograde. It's not the best time to do anything new in love or beauty and money. It's not the best time to make big decisions, life-changing decisions in those areas of life. Moving in together, taking big romantic steps, meeting someone and then getting married when you didn't know them, like big romantic decisions, big money decisions, launches. I've always watched the businesses in my areas that I've lived in that open during different transits. And all the businesses that I've seen open during Venus retrograde have closed in a short amount of time. Because Venus rules money, and you want to have the oomph of Venus going direct to boost your launch. Okay, also when Venus is in retrograde, you're not seeing clearly about love and money and design and these things. So it's not the best time to redesign your house. If you want to get a new table or something that you can afford, you may decide you don't like that thing afterwards. If it doesn't matter, if you can afford it, if you didn't spend a lot on it, it doesn't matter. It's fine. If you're spending a bunch and have to make payments, you might want to wait until you can see more clearly. Just things like that. But in general, it's time to work over old ground. This whole year has been about retrograde, earthworm, working the old ground to make fertile new soil for the new crops. Okay, so try to avoid making life-changing decisions. You can do business as normal, you can assess, you can research, you can work in the backdrop, You can experiment without long-term commitment. You can try things on. You can stay the course. Anything that's low stakes, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If it doesn't matter either way, then it doesn't matter either way. You don't have to worry about this. It's just the big things that you want to see. Focus on. Okay, so when Venus is retrograde in the 4th house, we're talking about the energy of home and family. Childhood events, things that happened in your childhood that are affecting you now, are going to very likely come up as echoes from the past, for better and worse. So positive memories, things, places you've been, places that felt like home, you could return to them. Your family compound or home or real estate could come into your, possession, or it could come up in some way. Real estate design and other things related to homes are very likely to come up. I have very often seen this come up as family real estate issues, like an inheritance or a family asset that there's consideration to sell. It is a great time to research property values. So if you want to sell your home, your family home, something that you've inherited, then this is a good time to do the research and, look into some inspections and assessments. But if you're the one holding the property, in general, it's not advisable to sell it during this transit because often you're not seeing clearly. Now, if you are in a position where if you wind up giving it away at a lower price, this isn't going to hurt you, you're not going to regret it, you don't care, you just want to be done with it, and you know that that is true, that's fine. You'll probably sell your property. And people who are looking for deals, those are the ones that really do well during Venus retrograde, because people are giving away their stuff because they're emotionally trying to cut cords. So if you were the person trying to cut cords, just make very sure that you're not going to regret and wish you had either kept it or gotten more for it. Okay, that's the biggest concern. If you are a treasure hunter, it's going to be a treasure hunter's delight. People are going to be giving things away like crazy. Okay. If it's an emotionally charged topic, try to hold off till the end of December so you can see more clearly how you feel about it. If you are a buyer with cash or very secure advances, many good investments can be found at this time, but there's also the chance to buy a money pit. So if you find a house that seems like it's too good to be true, it's a smoking hot deal, don't skip any inspections because there could be that crazy thing that happens and you didn't check it out. You got to check everything out. Especially. Sometimes people will get the urge to renovate at this time. It's not usually well indicated to do this because you're not seeing clearly involving spending the money. It might cost more money and your income may change. It also, the aesthetic aspect of design is very much affected. So again, like you're not seeing clearly. That's just one of the themes. So if you can avoid making big design decisions at this time, that would be better. If you made the decisions a long time ago and they're in the process of being carried out, maybe you'll have some buffer, but just kind of be aware of the fact that especially bold things, like try to stick to neutral things that you're not going to hate too much if, your mind changes about them. So it's also a good time or fine time to research anything about a future renovation. What I love for this time is like creating a pin board or creating some kind of board that has the pieces of things that you think that you would like, but you're not taking action on it. You're just kind of considering. And so for that energy, it's super fun, super supportive. You just look into things, try things on without making any commitment to them. So lost love can also return to your home. So a spouse or a lover can come back to live with you or come to stay with you. And those of you with relationships intact, if your partner is away, they may be able to come home, or you may be reunited with them, you may be able to go see them. Also, bringing the magic back in the relationship is a very strong focus where you change your priorities to prioritize the person in your life romantically. So weak links can come up, but also magic can come back. And sometimes it's both. Sometimes you go through the weak links and you clear them up and then you get the magic. The 4th house also relates to mother, although I've also seen some things show up with dad there. But anything involving your mother and money and self-esteem or, issues may come up. Or she may give you some money or help you out with something. Some questions that I see often come up or that you can use to proactively address the energies that are present to most use this energy is how, and I'm getting these from when I wrote them on my blog, so you can get a written version of this on my website. But I'll summarize them for you. So how is my childhood affecting, limiting, accentuating my current relationship? Where can I apply forgiveness for the sake of my own health and happiness, for the sake of others? Does a family member need me? How can I have a healthy relationship and find balance while I give help? So clearing up codependency. Do I need help from a family member or a member of my household? How can I be fair and balanced and honor myself and the other person? How can I create more coherence in my home space? It's a fine time to declutter. Just try not to not get rid of things that you're on the fence about, like move them into a holding cell in the garage, and then at the end of the transit, if there are certain things, if it's what I call low-hanging fruit, like just stuff that you don't care about, you can just freely clear it out. But things that you're like on the fence if you want to keep, just kind of like move them out of your general space and then do more of an evaluation for items of value or emotional items later, like towards the end of the year. How can I make money from past investments involving homes, houses, and family money? Okay, so I love counseling, especially healing trauma for this time. I love doing things to bring back magic to the current relationships. I love doing simple and inexpensive repairs and things to home to improve aesthetics, but no big money or big decisions. Clearing out and reorganizing is much better indicated than new purchases. Okay, I love Radical Forgiveness, a wonderful book from Colin Tipping at this time, and the Ho'oponopono, a Hawaiian healing prayer, is a major karma melter. It goes, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So you can look up the Ho'oponopono, or if you just look up Hawaiian healing prayer, because it's kind of hard to spell. So my affirmation for you for this month is, I look upon the past with eyes of forgiveness and a heart full of gratitude. Okay, so the rest of you will have this energy in the third house, so the second half of the sign. And remember what I said, just like in the fourth house focus, that even if you're not going to, if you're in the first half of the sign, still pay attention to these, because you have other aspects that could be bringing up these questions for you that aren't Venus retrograde related, okay? So, questions to consider. How are you communicating? Is the way you're communicating getting what you want in your business, in your relationship, in your creative expression? Are there financial opportunities with relatives? Are you spending money wisely as it relates to enhancing your communication? Is there too much money or focus spent on that? Is there not enough? Are you using your communication devices in a good way? How can you use them better? Do you need to take a class on that, or, or protect them more? How are you using money as it relates to vehicles and transportation? Is your payment, just too much for you, or could you do with an upgrade? It's not necessarily the best time to upgrade, but these are things to consider. So I love Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg at this time for this third house being accentuated. It really helps you to reframe your communication, which is a major theme for Leos that's coming up now. And then also researching the perfect vehicle and device, researching them, and then just kind of tabling it until it's a better time to get them. Okay, so my affirmation for you for this area is, I spill love with every thought, every look, every word. Okay, so these are the things most on my mind for Leo this month. Now I want to talk more about some general Venus retrograde things to be aware of, some things I love about Venus retrograde and some things to watch out for, as well as some sweet dates and some kind of jolty speed bump dates. So I'm calling the theme of October 2018 for all signs Venus retrograde on the positive tip. We've already talked about what Venus retrograde in the house that it's retrograde for your sign can look like for you, and some strategies to best utilize that. And now I want to give you some general things, especially some positive things, but also with a few cautionary notes, and just a reminder that really you have to go watch my Venus retrograde video, Annie Botticelli Venus retrograde, and definitely look at the written version in my blog at anniehelpsyou.com, because there's so much to know about this transit. It's so long. It's from October 5th through November 15th as the actual retrograde, but a month before and a month after is the shadow period when we're going to these rules will apply. So one of the best things that Venus retrograde is amazing for is working on self-esteem. Everything that Venus rules, love, beauty, design, money, comes back to this energy of relationship with self. So our relationship with money and business, our relationship with other people, our relationship with how we feel like we look, all has to do with our self-esteem. So That's why in general it's not favored to try to push out in any of these other arenas, because it's really a time to locate and clear issues that are holding you back from the inside. So inner work, prayer, meditation, affirmation, anything where you can heal from trauma and anything that's negatively affecting your self-esteem is amazing for this time. Something else that's amazing for this time is to look to the past for improvements for love and money. Okay, so that means like if you did something with your partner in the past that worked really well, or if in general, you did certain things with your love life in the past that worked really well. There could be like a renaissance, a returning back to things that worked really well. Many people who are separated from their love will have them come back to them in Venus retrograde. If there's someone that you left off with and you're not sure about, sometimes they come knocking again in Venus retrograde. And it's a really amazing time to reconsider things. And assess. It's just not the best time to commit to anything that you're figuring out from the assessments. Something that Venus retrograde is amazing for is for treasure hunters. If you are looking for a deal on something, unfortunately, this is coming from the fact that many people are not seeing clearly in money, and they're selling things of value for emotional reasons at crazy low prices. So if you have money to spare, you could wind up picking up an amazing deal. It's just a treasure hunter's delight. Definitely be careful though, because it could also, something you buy could become a money pit. So you have to make sure that you're getting a really great deal, and that, like if it's a house or something, you really need to do as many inspections as possible and just make sure, you have all your bases covered, extra inspections like sewage, septic, whatever, everything that you can do to make sure that that what you're buying isn't going to have any negative surprises, then it could turn out really well. You just have to look out for that. So in general, going back to the past for love, going back to the past for money and business, things that worked in the past with money, clients from the past. If you do something like you teach or offer something regularly, sometimes in a Venus retrograde, you'll have a bunch of people from the past who had been considering taking this offering might come out in full force. And of course, it could happen the other way. A lot of people do have financial issues, like financial backlog, where they have trouble with their finances, and then that's going to point to healing some inner issues that are causing these reflections or the lack of stability. Okay, so I'm going to talk about hit some sweet spots and hit some challenging spots in the month. Remember, definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter, because there I give you a write-up of this general transit in more detail with lots of dates of actual aspects, what the aspects are, and what to look out for each aspect, so that you can plan ahead. I always send these out a month early. And if you are signed up for my newsletter and you're not getting these, I'm definitely sending them. I always send them meticulously on time. So you definitely check for like your spam, promotions, or social folders, because if you're not getting in the inbox, they're going there. And then you can just move it over to your inbox or whitelist the email on there to get them in there. Okay, so let's just do a quick review of some sweet spots. Well, actually, let's do the challenging ones first, okay? So we've got things to look out for on October 2nd, 5th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 23rd, 24th, and 31st, with extra emphasis on those ones towards the end of the month, the 24th and the 31st. Now, it's interesting because in general, the second half of the month has a lot better flow and sweet energy, with the exception of those two spots. Okay, those are oppositions with Uranus that can bring jolts and surprises. That could be challenging. So just kind of tread lightly around those days. And then the other ones that I listed, you could see some challenges. Always look out around the full moon, which is like the 24th, because there could be drama or there could be fulfillment, completion or fruition. And that's going to be in these energies of Taurus. So fullness, completion, drama, fruition coming to things involving money and business and self-worth. There's a topic coming up again, sensual delights, material resources, environmental and sustainability projects, boundaries, resistance to change, things like that. Oh, and anything having to do with your throat, vocal cords, thyroid gland, etc. could bring things to light, or bring things up to be dealt with. Okay, so I want to end off talking about the sweet spots. We've got Some of the days that could turn out to be challenging could also turn out to be super sweet. So you'll hear when I list the sweet vibe days. And always remember, when I give you these dates, we could feel the energies before or after the actual date, because there's an orb of energy around each transit. So don't stick too heavily to the dates, just kind of tune into how you are experiencing the energy. So sweet spot possibilities on the 5th, the 8th, the 15th, the 19th, the 22nd, the 24th, the 26th, the 27th, and the 29th. In general, the second half of the month, like I said, has a lot of sweetness, with the exception of the 23rd, 24th, and the 31st, some things to look out for. But there's some really awesome things going on, like October 22nd. Mercury is making a beautiful aspect to Pluto. So your powers of persuasion are improved and your powers of perception are improved. Then there's also this October 27th with the Sun in Scorpio making an amazing aspect to Saturn. So this is a great energy to get things done, and also an enhanced possibility of being seen or acknowledged by somebody in a position that you want to notice you. So it could be like someone in your family that you've always been kind of chasing their approval, or it could be somebody, you know, in the work world. October 29th, there's this mixed bag, but it really has potential for a lot of good news and good luck. Mercury and Jupiter get together. So whenever any of these personal planets get together with Jupiter, the energy of luck, you know, amplifies out, and Mercury rules news. So some good news about money, about something involving your partner. It could be money from your partner. It could be your own money. Lots of magical potentials here. Of course, it could also bring intensity to conversations, you know, in the Scorpio realms or something like that. But in general, I'm looking for that day, hopefully, to have some good vibes. So overall, this month of October, some little awkward spots, and definitely the Venus retrograde is going to have this shadow. But if you understand the energies, as you will if you use all of the many resources that I made for you, then I think that this can be a really sweet month. And for the things that are challenging, you could really have pure alchemy to turn the lead to gold. So go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. You can also see more about my personal live readings, which I'm off sabbatical and I'm taking taking new clients now. If you've been wanting to have a reading and have me look at your chart. Also, if you would love to learn astrology, check out my astrology apprenticeship program. I also have all kinds of other goodies on my website. If you want written horoscopes from me, they go into often different things than I focus on in the reports. So it's a really good written highlight and summary, and includes great reads for each sign. So cozybysweetstarlight.com. And if you're a traveler and you want to see my astrology travel reports to see what days to look out for specifically for travel, then check out Astrology Kissed Travel Bliss. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.